Hi, everybody, and welcome to Leadership 101. I'm your host, Jeff Moss, and today I'm thrilled to have on the call Jesse Cole, the owner of the Savannah Bananas, the Find Your Yellow Tux man himself. If you haven't read his book, this is one of them. I've also read his recent book called Fans First. So, Jesse, welcome. I can't thank you enough for jumping on this call and just ultimate respect for what you've done in Savannah.
Well, thank you so much. Excited to be with you. Let's have some fun.
Yeah. So I just right out the gate, I speak a lot at Chamber of Commerce meetings and business ventures and things like that about what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur, being one myself, owning a college hunks, hauling junk and moving franchise. And oh, by the way, we like to stand out, which I know is one of your main things you talk about. Our colors are seen everywhere. People go, well, Jesse's in the entertainment business, Jeff. Business is different. Can you talk a little bit about how you've correlated entertainment, raving fans, and business? Because I know you're running a very successful business in Savannah.
I get it. And if I was outside of the industry and I saw a crazy guy in a yellow tuxedo, I would say, I don't have anything in common with him. What is he doing? I don't understand their business. They run a sports team, which is more like a circus. So I get it where they're coming from. And, all I can say is 6 years ago, I was sleeping on an airbed, only sold a handful of tickets. And my wife and I had to sell our house and we were down to our last dollar. And we were being like everyone else. We were acting like everyone else. We were marketing like everyone else. We were selling like everyone else. And we were getting results actually worse than anyone else, until we went into a fans first mentality. And a big part of fans first, and what I share in my latest book, the 5 E's to creating raving fans, the number 2 E is entertain always. And you say, well, you're not in the entertainment business. I would argue that everyone's in the entertainment business. And here's why. Because the definition of entertain is to provide enjoyment and to provide amusement. We are in a business where we need to provide enjoyment and provide joy and happiness and make our customers feel good about what they're doing. To do that, I think you need to map a journey of the customer's journey to provide entertainment. So on every touch point, when they go to your website, are they entertained or are they bored? Or when they come and buy from you, what's the process? Is it like everyone else or is it entertaining? Entertaining doesn't have to be a crazy guy in a yellow tuxedo or our dancing players or our banana baby or our breakdancing coach or our male cheerleading team. It can just be something that provides joy and happiness. And I think every business is in the entertainment business.
Well, and I think if they're not and don't understand that, then they're never going to create the raving fans you talk about. So somebody the other day, again, I'm in Plains, Georgia, my hometown, and I see a guy wearing one of your hats, Savannah Bananas hat, and I walked up and introduced him. It turned out that he was the son of some friends of ours. And I said, I've read Jesse's books. He's all about the Savannah Bananas. And I asked him, do you have any idea what they do in apparel? And by the way, I just have to hold this up and show you that I've got my jersey. You guys, I mean, you've gone into the apparel world, so it's I guess superseded just entertainment. You've got people ordering bananas apparel from all over the world. How has that impacted your business model and what you guys are doing?
Well, it's interesting. I think if you have a great business and you have fans, they want to wear your product. And so you think about it, I mean, Buc-ee's, which is a gas station. And I've never been there, but I'll tell you one thing. Every single game, I have someone come into the ballpark wearing a Buc-ee's shirt. Okay. They are not a retail company. They're not an apparel company, but they're wearing their shirt. Same thing with Yeti. People wear Yeti hats. It's a cooler brand. When you create something, no matter what your product is, people want to wear your brand. For us, again, we had no idea when we first started. I mean, our merchandise system was a disaster. I mean, in everything that we do when we first start, I mean, every ticket at our ballpark is all inclusive. All your burgers, hot dogs, chicken sandwiches, soda, water, popcorn, dessert, everything is all inclusive. The first night we did it, fans waited 3 hours to get food. It was terrible. But now when you look at what merchandise is doing for our brand, it's a multi-million-dollar just in merchandise alone. We do hundreds of orders a day. Some days we do up to 1,000 orders all over the world. We have a huge merchandise team, and that shouldn't happen for a small team in Georgia. It's because I believe we create these raving fans that they want to wear and they want to wear it proudly. And so I'm sure if you've worn the hat or the shirt, someone has said something to you about it. That's what I hear from everybody.
Oh, my friends in Savannah, I've got somewhat of a niece and some nephews that live there. And when they heard, first of all, I tripped and fell into you on LinkedIn. You and I've had a number of conversations back and forth on email over the last several months. basically become a raving fan. And when I've spoken to the chamber, it's like, what are you, you're 38 years old now, right?
It's impressive. You know my age, yes.
Yeah. So well, I'm 20 years your senior. So I'm like, if a gray-haired 58-year-old with my business experience, my military experience, can read a book and have my thoughts challenged, and the way I think challenged by a 38-year-old who slept on an air mattress 6 years ago and was down to his last nickel, what's holding you back? But the raving fan concept not only applies to clients, it also applies to your employees. Talk a little bit about how you bring that same philosophy to motivation within the clubhouse and within, your employment base as well.
Yeah, well, if you want to, again, and the reason why fans, and I'm glad that it really connected with you, is the fact that if you just have customers, you're in trouble. I really believe customers are transactional. They come and go, but fans never leave. So if you can create a fan, even through tough times and challenging times, and for us in rain delays and challenges with the food and challenges with the merchandise, they believe in us and they want to be there for us. Customers, they'll just move on quickly. So why does it matter to create fans? So like that's the starting point, and just to reimagine what it looks like to fans. And I'm sorry, your question in regards to?
Yeah, your employees, your clubhouse.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody you interact with at work.
Yeah, so if you want to create these raving fans, you first have to create raving fans of your own team, of your own people. How can you expect your employees to create this raving fan without them knowing what one it looks like? So you say, I really want first class service. Well, has your team ever flown first class? We have all millennials. I want 5-star service. Have you ever started a 5-star resort or a 5-star restaurant?
Yeah.
And so how do you do that? So 1% of our total budget, top line, goes to surprise and delights of our team. Literally our first year when we were still getting up as a startup, Danny McAtee, who fought to get a job with us. We didn't have any opportunities with him, but we said, all right, we'll give you a shot. And he ended up raising almost $100,000 for nonprofits, helped sell out most of our games. And his team, he's from Cleveland, made the World Series. And I would never forget, Emily turned to me and my wife and she said, Jesse, we got to do it. We got to do what? She goes, we got to surprise him. And we got him a toy airplane. And I said, Danny, this represents how far you've gone with us, how far you're going, and how you've taken everyone on board. He goes, oh, thanks for the airplane. I go, oh, yeah, one more thing. We're flying you to game 1 of the World Series tomorrow. You're going with your dad. And he said, shut up. I was like, that wasn't the reaction I was expecting, Danny. And you wouldn't believe it. We called his dad. His dad started crying. They were the first people in line for game 1 of the World Series. When you create those moments, they know what it's like. Everything for us is creating fans' first moments. So we look at opportunities every day to surprise and delight our team. We took them kayaking. We turned our ballpark into a spa with massages and haircuts. And we had their cars washed by a mobile car wash. Just the other day, we had axe throwing and brought in ice cream truck. All these little things is just part of creating those special moments, and it's worth it.
Well, and the employees develop loyalty, and they develop belief in the brand, belief in the ownership, and the loyalty thing goes a long way in doing that. So in the process, I saw the ESPN special the other night. Congratulations for that. Very well done. I'm glad everything worked out. I mean, good gracious, you had some adversity come into that in multiple fashions, but you guys did the adapt and overcome, and got really good reviews, I believe, from that show. How have you, I guess, in 6 years, and oh, by the way, you also won the championship again this year. So I will tell you another piece of feedback I heard from somebody within your league system, because when I meet people, tell me what you think of Jesse Cole and the Bananas and what he's done in Savannah. And somebody literally said from one of the people in your league, they're not serious about baseball there. It's all about entertainment. And I said, well, didn't you play them recently? Oh, yeah, all these distractions, all this stuff going on. I said, well, I presume you must have beat them then. Oh, no, we lost 5-2. Yet they're not serious about baseball. Seriously. The other part that I found riveting is, what did you have? 16 Banana players drafted this year. Is that right?
It was 11, but yeah, we've had more players drafted over the last 6 years, and we've been fortunate to win more games than any other team in the league and 3 championships in 6 years. So we don't focus on the baseball.
Exactly. I know it just makes your skin tingle when you're going out and doing this thing that's so incredible, and people are going to hate. Haters are going to hate, but it really boils down to this question. are people trying to now emulate you and recreate what you've done in Savannah within the summer league system, or what does that look like?
To be honest, it's not something I focus on. I'm not focused on what our competition is doing. I'm competing against ourselves every single day. And every game, when the game finishes, I walk with our director of entertainment. We do laps around the field and we go over the entire show and how do we plus it and get it better. Every day it's how do we create the greatest show possible and how do we get better. So yes, I'm sure there's teams that are seeing what we're doing, and I'm sure there's teams that hate what we're doing. But I also believe if you're not getting criticized, you're playing it too safe. We're making announcements. We're making another one today. That's a big announcement that's going to upset some people. And the reality is, when we know every decision that we make, is it fans first? We are not focused on short-term profits. We're focused on long-term fans. And a lot of times you need to be willing to be misunderstood when you make those decisions. When we eliminated sponsorship from our ballpark and created an ad-free ballpark, people in the industry thought we were crazy. It was the dumbest move ever. They didn't understand why we would do that. We're like, no one comes to a ballpark to be advertised to, sold to, or marketed to. We work for our fans. We will make those decisions. And so we will continue to make those decisions. Even when people are saying, oh, there's too much dancing, there's too much celebration. I mean, when we score our first run, the entire team runs through the crowd. I mean, you look in our dugout, there's nobody in the dugout because they're celebrating with the fans. Oh, that's Bush League. You know what? We're having fun. And I think you need to be, open to being who you are and what you stand for, and being behind it. And are you willing to scream from a mountaintops? And that's who we are. We know who we're not for. We're not for the baseball purists and the traditionalists. We're not for that kid or a guy that came up to you and that lost. Like, we're not for them. We're for everyone that wants to come have fun.
Well, I'm just gonna throw a few more statistics out there and correct me if I'm wrong, but you've got a waiting list, 10 years deep for people wanting to buy season tickets?
It just passed 80,000. It's just to get any tickets for a game. It just passed 80,000.
Okay. You've got merchandise sales, incredible. You've got sold out games. Everybody shows up. And it's all because of the environment you guys have created and the fact that you put fans first and you've created raving fans. Would you just tell everybody that maybe meeting you for the first time, the flamingos in the parking lot, all the way to the end of the game, what you guys are doing to give the folks this fans first raving fan experience?
Sure, haven't thought about flamingos in the parking lot, but we have penguins, the parking penguins.
I'm sorry, I missed.
But flamingos sound even more interesting. I'm going to look into that. Yeah, again, we have 7 stages on our experience. This is part of the entertain always mindset that we have. Our first stage is the interaction on their website. So when you buy tickets, you're going to get a video sent to you, and every year it's different. But the one I was a part of it's over the top. Congrats, you just made the best decision of your day. Right now, as your ticket order came in, a Bananiacs rushed to the ticket laboratory to produce your tickets. And then a Banana Nana slowly walked in and hand selected your tickets and placed them on a silk pillow. We raised the silk pillow up in the air and sang "Na Savannah" to celebrate the birth of a new fan. And now we're bringing your tickets to our vault underneath our stadium where we'll be watched with maximum security. So you set the tone right there. Then we send a playlist of music to listen to on the way to the game. Then we have our parking penguins who park your car. They might pass out Freezy Pops to kids and say, stay cool. Before we open the gates, we have an entire march where our pep band, our Banana Nanas, our Banana Splits, which is our youth dance group, they're all green because they're not quite ripe. And they finish every dance routine with a split. Then our Man-Nanas, then our players, our player in stilts. We do a whole march to greet the 2,000 plus fans that are waiting in line hours before the game. Then we do a dance. We blow off confetti. We open the gates. People rush to their stadium. So then you have the plaza where we have the band playing, our break dance and coach dancing. That's part of our DJs out there. That's one of our main stages. Then you go into the concourse, and then we have, more performances while the band come through there. They even play in the bathroom during games, which is crazy. Then you have our grandstand, another stage where our players celebrate there. We have our players deliver roses to little girls in the middle of the game. It's a big part of our show. Even our introductions, guys come literally sledding down the grandstand to be introduced and throwing off confetti and Roman candles and fireworks. Then we have our field, which is our main stage. And then, afterwards we have our last impression and the plaza party where we, and at the end of the night, we all sing Stand By Me. The band's playing. Everyone's got their arms around each other's, the players, the staff, the characters. It's a beautiful goosebumps moment. And then at the end of the night, we say goodbye, and the last impression leaves the last impression. That's our kiss goodnight. So that's it in a nutshell, but it's nonstop entertainment, very scripted. We probably have 150 things in our script every night.
Wow. And does it change, I guess, with every game? So is your staff constantly revamping?
100%. We're plussing what we've learned from Disney. And now it's the bonus chapter. When the book ends, I have the bonus chapter once the book's over, plussing. And so that's what Disney said. It's always a living, breathing thing. Disneyland will never be complete. We'll continue to plus the show. And so for us, yeah, every night we do over 10 brand new things we've never done before in a show. And that's, you play 30 games, you're 300 brand new things. So we learn faster. 290 of them might not work, but the 10
Right.
do, they become very successful.
And you never know until you try. I mean, I think the thing that through my career that's kind of frustrating is you come up with an idea and then people want to tell you 20 reasons why it won't work and they can't come up with one alternative to what you're trying to do. But I mean, the negativity just, I'm sure you've seen it. How do you deal with the pushback and the negativity that you might have experienced through the startup and all of your ideas and people going, even down to the name bananas? This will not work. I've seen the documentary and I've seen the look on the sportscaster's face when they said our new team's going to be named the Bananas, and now I know you're laughing about that every day. Have you kept yourself kind of zero focused and stayed positive through all of this?
Well, how you view things is how you do things. And we talk about that. So it's a constant reframing. I think a question that's asked often by people is, well, what if it fails? The better question is, what if it works? And
Yeah.
when you frame that and use the what if framework, and you build ideas a part of your culture. I mean, we have idea sessions every single week, idea paloozas, OTT sessions, over the top ideas. And because we have so many ideas, we go through, you mentioned the Banana Land documentary. It opens with me going through my idea book every single day, 10 new ideas. When you do that constantly, it's just like I have my 4-year-old, the first time he went into the pool, he was scared out of his mind. But now he kept going in. Now he's jumping in like crazy and having the time of his life. If you keep coming up with ideas, keep trying new things, then all of a sudden it's not a big deal when one doesn't go right, because you're just getting to your next idea, your next at bat. So it's become a big part of our culture. Everything we do is experimentation. Obviously, that's one of the E's to creating raving fans. And I think if you only try a few new things a year, a month, a week, it's
Right.
scary. It's scary because it might not work.
Well, I'm gonna hold the book up again. You need to buy this book and read it, and you need to get fans first if you're watching this interview, because I can tell you, I've done a lot in my life, and I'm a very creative person, but you just poured gas on that fire when I saw your LinkedIn post and I started investigating you, which is what you do. You vet people and you see, can this guy bring me something that I don't have? So I just want to tell you a few things that I've done since reading your book, because you deserve that. First of all, I started periodically cooking breakfast for my guys when they show up to work. I don't tell them when, but when they walk in the warehouse at 7 o'clock in the morning and the old man's standing there, they call me Papa Honk, and I'm standing over a griddle cooking them breakfast so they can at least have a great meal before they head out on our trucks. Changed everything. I've always told them that the most important thing you can do is treat every customer like they're your grandmother, and turn a non-tipper into a tipper and a tipper into a great tipper. But when I read about the way you have the fans leave the stadium, I went back to my team and I said, let me ask you something. At the end of the job, when you're hot, tired, and sweating, do you go thank that customer for the fact they hired us and gave you the opportunity to work today? You've got to bring closure to the job. I don't care how tired, hot, and sweaty you are. I pulled that out of your book. I could go on and on and on. So in saying this, I'm encouraging business owners to pick it up, challenge your own thinking, and get out of the box and do things to create raving fans. One more important thing, Jesse, and I don't know if this is something that's crossed your mind, because I'm sure you get these calls like I do every day. Fundraising. Will you donate money to this? After I read your book, I totally changed my conversation with people that are calling me to support their cause. My best call, believe it or not, was with a pickleball association. Will you support the pickleball deal? This is what's going on. We're doing this, and we only need X amount of money, and we're going to put your signs up at our event. And I said, let me ask you a bigger question. She said, sure. I said, how many members of your pickleball association are there? She said, 400. I said, tell me this, how can I create 400 raving fans that know you chose me to sponsor your event, and you can go down a list? How can I get in front of them to tell them about the business I'm running, what we do differently, how we're all about building leaders? That's far more important to me than having a sign at your pickleball event. And long pause. she came back and she said, "Oh my God, nobody's ever said that before." And I said, "I'm just asking a real question. I really want to support you, but I need 400 raving fans of our business because we did that. All came from your book." So I don't care how long you've been in business. I'm 58 this October, Jesse. So I'm 20 years older than you. And I know this seems like a deal like that, but I got to tell you, man, you are doing a phenomenal thing. I believe in what you're doing. I support it. And anything like doing this interview to get you in front of more people so that they can have their vision, mission, and purpose challenged and just try something new is what we're all about. So raving fan, yes. More to learn, absolutely. But I just can't imagine you and your wife, and you didn't told the part about bugs crawling on you while you were sleeping on that airbed. I mean, did you ever for once think this just isn't going to work?
My mindset couldn't go there. So it couldn't go there because we were all in. We were over $1 million in debt. We had this team that we just bought. Our mindset didn't go there. And I think we are obviously a product of the people we surround ourselves with. That's huge. If you're around negative people, if you're around naysayers, if you're around people that don't believe in you, you will start believing that as well. You know, the people that I surround myself with, Walt Disney, P.T. Barnum, Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, SNL, Circus Soleil, WWE, Grateful Dead, all the greatest acts that what they did. And so, you know, I know age is really just a number. When I was 23 years old, running a team in Gastonia with $268 in the bank account and couldn't pay myself for 3 months, I read every book I could, and I became obsessed. And so, you know, I don't go a day. Emily laughs because I have 4 or 5 books on my nightstand because I'm in 4 or 5 books at a time. Yeah. It's crazy. I'm constantly reading and obsessing. So no matter what your age is, you know, find something that gives you energy, that you're so fascinated with, that you're a fanatic, that you're obsessive, that in a good way, that you want to be. And then so all of a sudden, when I'm reading 50 to 100 books a year, you know, my knowledge and the people I surround myself with makes me think big, makes me dream big, and makes me act big. And right. That gives us the opportunity at 38 years old, 28 years old, whatever the age is.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, I've had people 20. I'll tell you this. I sat down with a ball player, and I'm going to email you his name. Number 2 in North Carolina projected draft. He's a senior. And I was talking about you the other day. He knew who you were. He knew about the bananas. And I said, I need to introduce you to Jesse because you're just the kind of kid that he wants down there in Savannah as you're making your transition. But just such a great kid. He came to meet with me because he's raising money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And my wife and I have a special needs adult child, and she's a Wish kid. And he came to sit down just to pick my brain and go, tell me more about Make-A-Wish and those sorts of things. And I realized, you know what, there's such hope for America when you meet a young man like that, 17 years old, and has already figured it out. He knows he's got a bigger purpose in life than just baseball. But he's playing in the national stage this weekend at a game in Arizona.
That's amazing. And, you know, the thing right there that is so powerful, it's the curiosity. You know, if you look at the curiosity, Walt Disney said this: we keep moving forward, opening new doors and doing new things because we're curious, and curiosity keeps leading us down new paths.
Yeah.
If you can look at anything of great leaders, great young men who are going to be aspiring leaders and make a difference, it's that curiosity. You know, they don't think they know it all. They're a learn it all, not a know it all. Right. And they're constantly asking those questions. And so I think, and when you're looking to build leaders, you know, look at how many questions are they asking? Are they reading? Are they listening to podcasts? What are they doing to grow? And that's a big part of our core beliefs here. It's growing. And so we challenge that.
Well, I mentioned to you, one of our core values is building leaders. Another one is listen, fulfill, and delight. Now, I'm just a franchise partner. I don't own college chunks nationally. I own 2 franchises, one here in Wilmington, North Carolina, and the other one's in Griffin, Georgia. But I know that our founders are familiar with you. We're looking at trying to get you to one of our annual conventions, which we call Reunion, to be a keynote speaker. I'm hoping that will happen because I really believe that the well you're drinking from, I want more people to drink from that well and realize that there's hope. There is, you know, you can make a living, but our listen, fulfill, and delight is your fans first. Yeah, there's so many similarities between what you've done to brand the bananas and what College Hunks has done. It astounded me when I first started looking at it. But you also talk a little bit about the importance of standing out. You get into that into the books quite a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we want to get the hearts of the people that we work with, our customers or fans, and you can't get the hearts until you get the eyes and the ears. And I learned this the hard way, trying to market like everyone else and selling like everyone else. It wasn't until we created attention that everything changed. And so I believe attention beats marketing 1000% of the time. Everyone has marketing campaigns, but how many people have an attention plan? What are you doing to create attention? And it's not attention for attention's sake. It's attention to get people to believe, to see what you are, see what you stand for. And so, yeah, I mean, everything we do on Mondays, our OTT meeting is what are we going to do at the field this week that's never been done before to create attention? And, we're so fortunate. I mean, just the last few months from the Today Show to CBS Sunday Morning to HBO Real Sports to USA Today, I mean, to go from 1 million social media followers to over 4 million in just a few months shows that this attention plan is working and we believe in it. So I challenge is like, what are you guys doing that's unique and different? Every company can say we're a little bit better at this. We're a little bit faster at this. We're a little bit cheaper at this. What are you the only one doing? What on your website, you'd see what makes us different. And don't just say we're the best here, we're better here. What are you the only one doing? And even on our website, we have about us, what makes us different. And we talk about all the crazy things we do. That's how you stand out. And that's how we spend $0 on marketing right now, but we spend everything on the experience. And by doing that and creating attention, the fans keep coming, fortunately.
Wow. So you're spending $0 on marketing the Bananas, and you've got 80,000 people trying to get season tickets.
Yes, and people paying StubHub and other ticket brokers 10 times face value to get in. It's crazy.
I told somebody that the other day too, that it costs more to go to scalp a ticket, if you will, from StubHub to go see a Savannah Bananas game than you'd pay to go see a National League, Major League team.
It's crazy. Yeah. I wish I could do something about that. That's not fans first, but we have no control, unfortunately.
No, and that's true, but you've created such an incredible experience. So in the closing minutes, I just have a couple asks for you. First of all, I'm a drummer. So one of the things that I didn't tell you is that I've also taken these ideas. I play in a little local band called the Salty Dogs, and we now have the hot dogs. So we took your Banana Nanas deal, and we've got dancers at our concerts now called the Hot Dogs, and it's spelled DAWGS because I'm a Georgia Bulldog. So we've got the hot dog dancers that come out on certain songs, and they get the crowd going. They work the crowd. They're giving out treats. So when we go play an event, it's more that. But I've got to come play with your pep band. I guess I need to send a tryout film or something to merit.
I love it. That would be a lot of fun. I love it.
Yeah, to merit that opportunity. But also, obviously, I'm a helicopter pilot. I fly with the Veterans Foundation and Flying Museum, and that's a lot of fun for me. So we're out there getting noticed. Your book has put us on a whole new trajectory. Both of them, I've got my staff reading your books. And frankly, I ordered 5 additional copies of this, and I've given them to people at events as the, you have to have like a favor to hand out after you talk. So everything I've talked about today, here's the book, go read it. And I've got a brand new franchise partner going into Greenville, North Carolina, and I'm working with him to get him ready to open his business. And I'm going to hand him the book right now. I just did it so that he can have a copy and he can go fans first from day one and put our listen, fulfill, delight motion in play for himself. But Jesse, any final words? I know we're limited.
No, thank you so much for your support. I think one thing that jumps off the screen as I'm meeting with you and connecting with you is energy, and it's the bonus E I talk about in Fans First. And if you want to do all these things, you have to have energy. And how do you have energy? It's very simple. You do what gives you energy. And I challenge anybody, if you want to create these raving fans, do an energy audit on your schedule. Look at your calendar. All right, what are you doing? Are you doing things that burn you out, that are tired, that you come home exhausted? Are you doing things that fire you up, that light you up? And so everyone's like, Jesse, you have so much energy. Well, I do things that give me energy. My energy list is creating, sharing, and growing. Create your energy list. Find what gives you energy and go all in on that every day. And if you do that, it's game over.
Have you ever been successful trying to breathe fire into the body of an anemic human being?
Oh, jeez. I hear what you're saying.
That's one of the hardest things in the world. And people come at me and they go, Jeff, where do you get all the energy? I'm like, because I'm excited about what I do. And people that bring energy into you and excite you, make you a better human being, you know, a better steward of society. But
1000%.
well, ladies and gentlemen, Jesse Cole, Jesse, I'm going to end the recording here real quick.